And our next movie is Jack Frost, a child's fantasy in which an absent father comes back to life in the form of a magical snowman. Early on, we see that Dad, a struggling musician played by Michael Keaton, is too busy with his gigs to pay proper attention to his son, played by Joseph Cross.
Hey, come on, Jack. We gotta go. Yes, sir. Be with you in 1 second. Hold on a minute, dude. Look, see the guy's coming down right here?
Right.
The pencilman. You bring it back on the toe of the stick right here to the heel. Jack, now cut loose. There you go. Nice shot. Very good.
So, hold on, I still don't get it.
I know, but I'll show you when I come back.
But, Dad, I gotta learn it for the game today.
I'll teach you when I come back. I gotta go.
But before Keaton can change his ways, he suffers a fatal accident. A year later, he returns home, amazingly, to invest his spirit into his son's snowman.
I'm home. Hey, I'm home. Charlie, it's me. It's Dad. Hey, Charlie. Did you get the door?
Snowman, who is a creature of the Jim Henson Puppet Workshop, holds our interest for a few minutes. But then Jack Frost goes flat because nothing much happens before its predictable conclusion. There's little conflict in the story other than the obvious threat of a December heat wave, and the attempts at humor also fall flat. So ultimately, watching Jack Frost is like spending about 90 minutes with the Pillsbury Doughboy. And Roger, can you imagine parents' nights at school? Please, wipe up that puddle. I mean, there should have been some humor.
I'll tell you, Gene, I agree with all the criticisms you made of the movie, and I'll make one more. I could not stand the snowman. The snowman was creepy.
Yes.
I had the fingernails on the blackboard effect as I was looking at this unattractive, uncharismatic, weird creation with its... I didn't like the way its mouth moved, and its anorexic little tweaks for hands. And then all I could think of was, get me out of here before I have to look at this creature one more second. You know, there's theory about special effects creatures. Like Spielberg made a great study of what E.T. should look like.
You need the eyes.
And got to have the eyes and so forth. Two little lumps of coal, just
don't make it.
Don't do it. They don't do it. No.
And there's no humor in the film, and that's what surprised me too.
It's a real bad film.
Welcome to day 21 of Michael Keaton Month, where I'll be reviewing all the movies that Michael Keaton has appeared in. Today I'm going to be talking about Jack Frost, which was released on the 11th of December 1998. The tagline, he's the world's coolest dad and he's going to prove it. This movie has been described by some as the worst Christmas movie ever made. Some people have said that it is terrible, awful, cheesy, and an embarrassment to cinema. And I have to say, I really enjoyed it. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? It's not a great film. It is not a great film. It's about a guy who's called Jack Frost, and he plays in a band, you know, and he's got a son played by Joseph Cross, who got to star alongside Keaton in 2 movies in 1998. He was also in Desperate Measures, which I covered in yesterday's video / review. And you know, his son, his dad's always going off with his band, and he doesn't really give his son enough time. You know, his wife's played by Kelly Preston, and her name in the movie is Gabby, and Joseph Cross, his name's Charlie Frost, you know, his son. And Keaton, you know, Jack Frost, you know, he's got a good charisma about him. You know, he's in a band, and he's just trying to make things happen. You know, and the opening of the movie, we see him playing in his band, and he's going off to kind of get this record deal maybe around Christmas. You know, and his family like, oh, you just, you know, it's Christmas. You know, what are you doing? He's like, well, I got to do this. You know, and then he changes his mind halfway, and he says, you know what? Forget it. Family's best, you know. So he drives back and he's like, yeah, this is going to be great, I'm going to surprise him. He crashes his car and he dies. 1 year later. I mean, it just drops that bomb on you out of nowhere, you know. And it's like, whoa. I mean, it's the following Christmas, you know, Charlie's trying to adjust to the fact that his dad is dead. And, you know, he's not having a good time, you know, he's depressed. And we see earlier, you know, at the beginning of the movie that, you know, around Christmas time, him and his dad always build a snowman together and they make a big deal out of it. It's also made a big deal out of the fact that his dad gives him his first ever harmonica, you know, and quite a kind of harsh moment really. He says, you know, this is my first harmonica, I want you to have it. And when he says he's going to go off to do this, try and get this record deal instead of staying with his family at Christmas, his son's like, hey, you can have your harmonica back, you know, and it's just, oh, you know, and then he dies. Oh, this is a harsh movie, you know. So, you know, Charlie decides to build the snowman again, you know, he does it on his own, and then suddenly something starts to happen because he uses his father's clothes, like his father's hat and his scarf, and the snowman becomes his father. His soul inhabits this snowman, and that is the movie, Jack Frost, the Snowman. I enjoyed it. The snowman I thought was quite impressive. The effects, you know, for the time, but only in the night. You know, in the night it worked for me. In the daytime, my God, it was terrible. There's this awful scene where Charlie is just kind of getting used to the fact that his dad is now a snowman, and all these bullies start throwing snowballs at him, and his dad starts helping him, and then they have this snowboard chase down this hill. You know, there's all snowy landscape throughout the whole movie in the town that they live in. And they're snowboarding, you know, there's this snowman and his son are snowboarding down this thing and doing all these flips and stuff, and the CGI just makes it look awful, you know, and they shouldn't have done that, I don't think. You know, there's some other supporting characters in the movie who are kind of cool, you know. We had Mark Addy, who is probably most famous for The Full Monty, or more recently he played Robert Baratheon in Game of Thrones. He's kind of Jack's kind of British mate in the band, and there's quite a nice scene actually where he said that Charlie was like, why don't you play music anymore since my dad died, and he's like, well, you know, I just don't get the feel for it anymore, you know, the magic kind of thing. Henry Rollins had a small role as another one of the parents' kids, and he has a run-in with Jack when he's a snowman, which is kind of funny. And then the end of the film, you know, all leads to kind of you know, Jack kind of making things right by his family, and spoilers. You know, he then kind of, we see him in his human form, and he kind of ascends to heaven then, and he's gone forever pretty much. And I'll be damned if I didn't get a little kind of dewy-eyed at the end of this thing. I liked it. I don't know. It was enjoyable. Some of the CGI was awful, but I quite liked the whole movie, you know. I just... Call me a glutton for punishment, I don't know. I didn't really watch it and think this is terrible. Yeah, it's not great, you know, but I enjoyed it. I'm going to watch it again, you know. It was a good movie, you know, for me. For my tastes, I enjoyed it, you know. Kelly Preston was okay. Joseph Cross was good as Charlie, you know. Keaton, you know, I thought it was great, particularly when we see him in his human form, you know, as Jack Frost. A little limited, I guess, but there you go. Some trivia about the movie. This was released 2 years after an identically titled Jack Frost movie about a horror film that features a mutant killer snowman. Sam Raimi was once attached to direct the film, and even wrote a draft of the script with his brother Ivan Raimi. But the biggest piece of trivia is that George Clooney was originally attached to the project, but when he left to do Batman and Robin, ex-Batman Michael Keaton was recast into the role, so another Batman connection, you know. And we also saw that, you know, Clooney and Keaton would appear in Out of Sight that very same year as well. This caused no end of trouble for the Jim Henson's Creature Shop, because they had designed their snowman animatronic specifically to Clooney's facial features and acting style. So yeah, have a look out for that if you're watching the movie. I thought the snowman effect was cool. I liked the way it was kind of framed. People said he looked scary, but I thought he kind of friendly and stuff. And well, it also fit Jack's personality, you know. And but overall, you know, this movie is fantastic. I wouldn't say rush out to see it, and you know, and it's a Christmas classic or anything, but take out some of the bad CGI moments like that, I really did enjoy it. So yeah, there you go. That's Jack Frost review done. And join me tomorrow for more Michael Keaton madness. And thank you for watching.